The great lion is in a tight corner. The powerful spiritualist Iyanifa has given a tough condition before she can return to Nigeria to finish the final forest ritual. She is tired of the lies and the politics happening inside the palace. She told the king point blank, "If I come, I must walk alone, and nobody, not even Ebony, can stop me." Welcome to Crown Gist. If you want the real, raw, and unfiltered truth from the palace, you are in the right place. But wait, if you never subscribe to this channel, waiting you check. Abeg, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell so you no go miss any hot updates where we dey drop here back to back. My Crown Gist friends and families, we need to talk about the heavy cloud hanging over the palace right now. The atmosphere is so thick with tension that you can almost feel it on your skin. The great lion, our powerful king, has been left with no other choice. The walls are closing in, and the only person who can save the spiritual foundation of his home is Iyanifa. But Iyanifa is not your regular priestess. She is a woman who speaks truth to power, and right now she's speaking fire. She has sent a message from across the ocean, and the words are vibrating through the palace. She told the great lion point blank, "If I come to Nigeria, you will allow me to do my work regardless of who will be affected." And yes, that includes Ebony. Can you imagine the shock on the faces of the elders when they heard that? Iyanifa is not coming to clean ice. She is coming to clean house. She told the king that the only way she will step foot on Nigerian soil is if he gives her 100% guarantee that there will be no intruders and no politics. The intensity of her demand is rooted in a deep bitterness about how things have been handled in the past. She called out the king and his council for their hypocrisy. She said, "The reason why we are in this mess today is because everything in your palace is about politics. You people see black and you call it red. You see red and you call it white. You see blue and you call it green." She is tired of the manipulation. She is tired of the elders using tradition to hide their own selfish agendas. My Crown Gist friends and families, Iyanifa made it very clear that she isn't even coming back for the sake of the great lion. She said his ears are often close to the truth. No, she is coming back solely for the sake of the jewel. She wants the jewel to finally have the spiritual stability and peace she deserves. You see, this forest ritual is the final key. They've done the full moon ritual, they've done the offering ritual, but without this final step in the deep forest, the jewel remains unprotected. The king is in a panic because there is a major event in Brazil. A premiere for the jewel's massive endorsement. The world is watching. The people in Brazil want the great lion and his queen to grace the occasion. But Iyanifa says if the ritual isn't finished, there is no leveling up. When the king begged her to come quickly, she told him August. The great lion screamed, "August is too far." But Iyanifa didn't flinch. She is holding all the cards now. She told him if he wants her to come sooner, he must promise before the gods that the elders will have no part in her work. She wants to walk in total silence and total purity. But what is the king going to do? If he agrees, he is essentially telling his powerful elders to sit down and be quiet. He is telling Ebony that her influence is over. The suspense is biting because every minute the king delays his answer, the politics in the palace get darker. Will the great lion find his voice and give Iyanifa the assurance she needs? Or will he let the intruders continue to mess with the destiny of the jewel? The drama is just getting started and the spiritual war is about to reach its peak.
The drama is getting deeper and the silence from the king's palace is louder than a shout. You see, the reason why Iyanifa is being so strong-headed this time is because she has seen the hidden things that happen behind the scenes. She reminded the great lion of the full moon ritual, and this part will shock you. She revealed that when they were preparing for that ritual, the elders brought a list of items that were so long and so difficult to find just to frustrate the process. Iyanifa knew, even then, that most of those items were not necessary. She knew they were just adding Jara to the list to make the work look more cumbersome and to show that they are the ones in control. She told the king, I had to go into the darkest, most dangerous areas of the forest to get items that didn't even matter for the ritual, just because I didn't want to argue with your people. Can you imagine that? A whole Iyanifa traveling from a far country, being forced to risk her life in the deep bush just because some elders wanted to play who is the boss? She told the great lion that he was a witness to all this. He is a traditionalist himself. He knew the items were not needed, but he allowed it to slide. He let the politics of the palace override the purity of the spiritual work. And that is why Iyanifa is saying, never again. She told him that if she is to come for this forest ritual, the king must make a promise, not just to her, but before the gods. She wants a spiritual contract that she will be allowed to do her work the way it should be done without any elders breathing down her neck or deciding what she should do. But my crown gist friends and families, there is a bigger reason why this forest ritual is causing so much wahala. You remember Adut? Adut was originally supposed to be the one to do this ritual with the great lion. But the elders used their politics to stop her, saying she wasn't qualified by marriage. Adut, being a woman of fire, told them she didn't even want the marriage. She said as long as Ebony is in that palace, she is not interested in being part of any equation. She even warned them that if she were to enter that marriage, what she would do to Ebony would be so serious that even the great lion will cry for mercy. So, with Adut out, everything fell on Iyanifa's shoulders. The elders know they can't control Adut, and they are starting to realize they can't control Iyanifa either. They are in a state of panic. They know that Iyanifa is the best, the purest, and the only one who can truly stabilize the Jew. But they also know that if Iyanifa works alone, she will expose all the black and red games they've been playing in the palace. The king is stuck. He is desperate to take the Jew to Brazil for that big endorsement premiere. He knows that he can't go alone and he can't go with his spiritually unstable queen. The world is waiting to see the great lion and his Jew shining together. But Iyanifa is standing at the door holding the key. She told him, if you want me to say yes to this invitation, you must give me the assurance that I can walk without intruders. The intensity of this standoff is crazy. Ebony is reportedly pacing the palace, knowing that if Iyanifa gets her way, the protection Ebony has enjoyed might just vanish in the smoke of the forest ritual. The elders are holding secret meetings, trying to find a way to convince the king not to give Iyanifa total control. But the king is looking at the calendar, he is looking at Brazil, and he is looking at the Jew, whose peace of mind is worth more than all the politics in the world. Who will win this battle of wills? Will the great lion finally tell his elders to back off so that the truth can set his palace free? The tension in the palace has now moved from a simmer to a heavy boil. You see, the great lion is currently caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. On one side, he has his council of elders who have been with the throne for ages, men who believe that without their guidance, which Iyanifa calls pure politics, the kingdom will lose its flavor. On the other side, he has a woman of fire and spirit, Iyanifa, who has seen through the smoke and mirrors. Iyanifa's voice from abroad is like a thunderclap in the king's inner chambers. She told him, I am ready to come, but not for you. I am coming for the jewel. This statement alone is enough to make the palace walls shake. She knows that the jewel has been through enough spiritual up and down because of the shadow of Ebony and the constant interference of people who don't want the jewel to settle. She told the great lion that if she comes, her work will be like a sharp knife. It will cut through the lies and it will not spare anyone. She specifically mentioned Ebony, saying that if Ebony is affected by the spiritual cleansing, so be it. Can you imagine the fear in the eyes of those who have been hiding behind Ebony to play their games? They know that when Iyanifa enters the forest for that final ritual, there is no hiding place. The forest ritual is the most intense of them all. It is the one that seals the foundation. It is the one that ensures that no matter what juju or politics anyone tries to play, the jewel remains firm and the great lion remains focused. But Iyanifa is saying, I will not come to a house where the doors are still open for intruders. She challenged the great lion's leadership. She reminded him that every time she has come to Nigeria in the past, she has watched him allow the elders to override his own decisions. She said, "You are a traditionalist, you have the blood of the lion in you, yet you let them see red and call it white in your presence. If that is the kind of politics I am coming to face, please look for someone else in Nigeria to help you with the ritual. I will stay here and just give them guidance on the phone." But my crown gives friends and families. The king knows that guidance on the phone is not enough for the level of spiritual leveling up he needs right now. The premiere in Brazil is not just a party, it is a global stage. The endorsement the jewel got is a massive door opener for the whole kingdom. The people in Brazil are not just waiting for the jewel, they are waiting for the power couple, the great lion and his queen. If they go there with spiritual baggage, if they go there while the palace at home is still in chaos, the gods might not smile on that trip. The great lion is screaming, "August is too far," because he knows that time is his enemy. He needs Iyanifa now. He needs the forest ritual finished. He needs the atmosphere to be cleared of Ebony's constant war and the elders' constant advice. But Iyanifa is waiting for a promise. She wants him to swear that the elders will be spectators, not participants. She wants to be allowed to finish what she started with the full moon ritual, but this time without the unnecessary items and the cumbersome list that the elders used to frustrate her before. Ebony is reportedly in a state of high alert. We are hearing that she is trying everything to make sure Iyanifa does not come under these conditions. She knows that a pure ritual means her own politics will be exposed. The elders are also whispering, telling the king that it is an insult to the tradition to let one woman walk without the council. But Iyanifa's response is simple. "Your council is full of politics and I am here for the spirit." The suspense is literally eating everyone up. Will the king choose the tradition of the elders or the truth of Iyanifa? Will he sacrifice the jewel's stability just to keep the elders happy?
We have finally reached the breaking point of this royal saga. The great lion is standing at a crossroad where he must decide the future of his throne and his heart. Iyanifa's words are still ringing like a bell in every corner of the palace. "Make a promise to me and make it before the gods." She's not asking for a secret agreement or a private thank you. She wants a spiritual vow that when she steps into that forest, the king will stand as a shield between her and the intruders. The pressure on the king is massive because the world is literally waiting for him. The endorsements in Brazil are not just about money, they're about the image of the kingdom. The organizers have made it clear they want to see the great lion and the jewel together, shining and stable. But Iyanifa has dropped the ultimate truth bomb. The reason why everything is failing is because of the politics. She told him that she knows about the black, red, white, and green games they are playing. She is tired of the elders manipulating the spiritual path just to keep their influence over the king. My crown J's friends and families, imagine the scene inside the inner chambers. The king is looking at his calendar, sweating. August feels like a lifetime away. He needs the jewel to have that stability now. He knows that the jewel has been a pillar of support, enduring all the war Ebony has brought her way. But Iyanifa is saying, "I am coming for the jewel's sake, not yours." She is basically telling the king that he has failed to protect his queen from the palace wolves, so she has to come and do it for him. The intensity of this condition is what has sent Ebony into a panic. We're hearing whispers that Ebony is doing everything possible to prevent Iyanifa from getting that total control promise. Why? Because Ebony knows that Iyanifa doesn't bow to intruders. If Iyanifa clears the forest, she clears the path for the jewel to reign without any shadow. The elders are also in a corner. They are telling the king, "If you let Iyanifa walk alone, you're sidelining us." But Iyanifa's answer remains the same. "If you want politics, do it yourself. If you want results, let me walk." The great lion is now at the point of no return. He has to give Iyanifa a date. But before that date is set, he must find his voice. He must tell the elders to stay in the palace while Iyanifa goes into the forest. He must tell Ebony that the equation is about to change. He must prove that he is a lion who can protect his pride from the inside, not just the outside. The suspense is at an all-time high. Will the king's response be, "Yes, Iyanifa, the path is yours," or will he let the intruders win again? The whole of Ife is waiting.
The jewel is waiting, and most importantly, Iyanifa is waiting across the ocean with her bags packed, but her feet won't move until she hears that vow. If the king moves now, the Brazil premiere will be a victory dance. If he fails, it might be the day the jewel realizes that the politics of the palace are too heavy for her to carry. This is the ultimate level up moment, and we are right here watching it unfold. Please remember, my Crown Gist friends and families, that all this information is based on alleged rumors and unverified gist making the rounds on social media. None of this has been officially confirmed by the palace yet, so do not take it as a fact.